I don't know what it is with me and waking up, but sometimes my hair has a mind of its own. Sometimes it'll say, yeah man, I'm gonna make you look good when you wake up, and then sometimes it's like, you better put some stuff in, bruh, because we ain't walking out the house like that, and... Oh boy. Alrighty, the first story, the main story of the day, the M3 chip. Now, this is a little weird of a topic because we are also going to talk about the M3 Pro and M3 Max, but because the M3, the standard M3, is the main discussion of today's video, I'm just going to title this video What You See It. I'm going to try to make it because, listen, this is a very hard video to kind of, get people into, so if you're watching this from your own instincts, I appreciate that. Now, the first story, let's talk about the M3. The M3 is the new upcoming CPU that Apple has been doing for the last 3 generations in regards to the updated Macs. Now, as you know, the Silicon Macs have been some of the best performing Macs that we have ever had in a long time. Not just for pro users, but for also longevity, software support, everything. So the M series chips are built to last. They are phenomenal computers. However, with that being said though, it does look like the M3 is on the horizon, and with a few models that are in the pipeline, there are 2 particular models that are in everybody's topic, and according to several reports, it seems like we're gonna see them very soon rather than later. The first Mac is the Mac Mini. Now, as you know, the first ever computer to get the M series chip was of course a Mac Mini that beta testers used, developers were able to configure, so it makes a totally perfect sense to get the M3 into that computer. And there are reports saying that Apple is internally testing an M3 Mac Mini, so that helps to back up the claim. But another computer that is in desperate need of a refresh, and I think is going to get it, and it's also being reported, the 24-inch iMac. Now, the 24-inch iMac is a very rare computer because it doesn't follow the quota of the MacBook Pros, the MacBook Airs, or even the Mac Mini. It actually gets its refresh at least every couple of years, which I think is the perfect cycle for a computer. I don't think you need a new CPU every single year for minimal upgrades. Now, if you're an average person like me, you're not going to upgrade every year. But considering that my M1 Pro MacBook Pro is starting to now show its age, I'm kind of looking to go to the Max chip, but I'm also looking for a desktop, so I might go with the Mac Studio for content creation. But with that being said though, I do think that the 24-inch iMac is the perfect computer to get the refresh with the M3. If that has to be the first computer, I would be perfectly fine with that. And the reports are suggesting that the M3 24-inch iMac is going to happen. There are also reports that there is going to be a few new changes to come along with it. The biggest change, besides the upgrade in the hardware, the biggest change that we are now hearing is that the 24-inch iMac is going to get a new camera, it's going to get new features, things that we've seen on the Smart Display, so it is going to get a nice little refresh. Now again, it's not for everyone, but for somebody like me who has an iMac, I can tell you, I love the iMac, I think it's a great computer, and I would totally buy an all-in-one Mac over a desktop. But that brings into the next question, a computer that everybody's been talking about, the 27-inch iMac. Are we ever going to get the big screen iMac? And the answer is eventually. Because in the same report, it does suggest that while Apple is not actively working on a 27-inch model, there are reports suggesting that they will eventually get to the project, and the launch date for the 27-inch is looking to be around the end of 2024 into 2025. So Apple hasn't even begun testing a 27-inch model. They haven't even begun that process because the 24-inch just seems to do the job fine. So for now, if you were hoping for a bigger iMac, I got some bad news for you. You're probably gonna have to wait a little bit more, but overall, when it comes to the M3 chip, those are the 2 computers that are on the markup, and it seems like that's gonna start the path for the M3 Pro and M3 Max, which is what we're gonna talk about next. Going over to the flip side, because this is not the next story, this is continuing on with the M3, the MacBook Pros, of course, the M3 Pro and M3 Pro Max, which will also make its way over to the Mac Studio, it seems, according to reports, it seems that we are indeed going to be getting an M3 chip. We're going to see it get its Pro and Max, obviously. But according to Mark Gurman, it seems that some internal testings and some early benchmark scores suggest that the M3 Pro and M3 Max are going to be, at least in comparison to the first generation is going to be on a new level, and even compared to the second generation will be a slight improvement. According to Gurman, he says here that Apple is actively testing a high-end 16-inch MacBook Pro with one version of the M3 Max chip clocking in at 16 cores with 40 GPU cores as well as 48 gigabytes of memory. On top of that, with the M3 Pro, it does seem like a little bit of the processing is going to focus on its size. Now, we don't have any information of what nanometers it's going to be. We don't know anything like that. But what we do know is that the M3 Pro is going to be significant enough where most general users are probably going to opt for the Pro over the Max, because apparently they're saying the graphics performance in the M3 Pro is able to go almost toe-to-toe with the Max, but of course the Max will have its edge. But these are things we kind of already knew. But just taking a look at what they're going to try to do with the CPU, it seems that Apple wants to overclock it. They really want to push the performance. They really want to get all of those things out there. And honestly, I have no problem with it. I think it's a great idea. I think that Apple doing this takes their initiative and their drive, and it takes it up to a notch, especially for the Pro user. But as somebody who, again, is phasing out of laptops, I'm probably going to get a desktop. That's going to be my next computer. And honestly, if they made a 27-inch iMac with an SD card slot and a Pro or Max chip, that's my next computer. But until then, Mac Studio is my way. But that's everything we know on the M3 chips. I just wanted to kind of talk to you guys about the models that are in the rumor mill. We do know at least 2 of them are going to get the standard M3, and those are looking to be on the horizon very soon. And then, of course, we'll get there when we get there with the quote-unquote whatever.
And now a word from our sponsor.
And the last story, the final story, let's talk about the Apple Watch Series 9 and the Ultra 2. Now, I've already made some shorts on these particular topics, so I'm just gonna brush through them real quickly, but if you haven't seen the shorts, essentially it seems like the Apple Watch Ultra 2 is going to be very similar to what we already have. It's gonna be more of an internal upgrade, but there are reports suggesting that Apple is going to be releasing a brand new color, specifically black. Now, personally, I really don't care about colors in terms of watches, but I will not lie to you, had they offered a black, I probably would have bought that. But overall, I think that the Ultra 2 is really not a necessary upgrade if you have the first generation. I think it's a good upgrade if you don't have an Apple Watch or if you have a previous Apple Watch. I think that that's more for people like that. But for somebody like me that has the first generation Ultra, it's not necessary, and I don't think I'm gonna need to upgrade for another year or two, maybe even more. We'll see how long this thing lasts. But now on the flip side, to the Apple Watch Series 9, now we're hearing reports that a brand new color is coming in, and also for the first time in the last 3 generations, Apple is going to finally include a brand new CPU. They are not going to be reusing the same structure, architect, same model with different scores. No, this is going to be a brand new, fresh CPU that will have new performances, new graphics performances, all of the goodies that we can expect from an S series chip for an Apple Watch. Now, this is some great news because the last few generations, we understood why Apple was doing it. It was because of the supply chain, the low demand, at least for the chips, and also because of the shortages that were going on. Apple had to do this to kind of make up for the cost. And not a lot of people really cared because your Apple Watch works perfectly and you never really know. But now knowing that we're gonna have a brand new CPU, we're gonna have a brand new structure in place, that's a very, very good positive and a huge upgrade if you have the Series 6 or the Series 5 and before. Because now you're going to get brand new performance, you're gonna get a new watch, better everything. And while it is not going to be the redesign just like the Ultra, it is reportedly going to be featuring some new display technology and will come in a brand new color, pink. Yeah. That's about it. And that's it for today's episode of Techno. Now, guys, I really hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, hit the like button. If you disliked the video, you can hit the dislike button to help circulate my videos as well. As always, everyone, thank you so much for watching. I will see you all on the next episode. Have a great rest of your day, guys. Take care, stay safe, have a good day, and peace.